What's up, insiders? Hot topic for you today, notifications. Hello everybody, I'm Barbara.
Hi, I'm James, the PM for notifications.
We have 3 exciting things that we want to tell you about today. Last year, 2018, we had a couple of notification outages. What have we done about that?
We kicked off a large project that was going to take a long time, and we kind of basically went through the whole system and tried to measure it. And so if we look at how the point at which a creator uploads a video, and then we go and fetch the metadata for that video, you know, the thumbnail and all those kinds of things. Then we do what's called fan out, where we go and get all the kind of video metadata and we distribute it to all the 10 or 20 million subs in some cases. And in many cases, a creator can upload multiple times, multiple videos. And so we're doing this fan out process in multiple times.
For a lot of videos, and this is just for one creator.
This is just for one creator. And then if you imagine we do this for millions of creators, and as we all know, that creators tend to upload kind of on the hour.
Yes.
So then this creates these big spikes. And in some cases, I think there were creators in India who were batch uploading 600 videos at the same time. So this puts huge hotspots into the system. And then what happens is it overloads one small part of it.
Yep.
And then that affects all creators. And that's typically the kind of root cause of an outage. The project was kind of going through the system, measuring from that point at which the creator publishes to the point at which we send all these notifications. Yep. And putting kind of end-to-end measurement over that. And then we identify where all the root causes were. We fixed all those now. And we believe the system is fundamentally reliable, and we can measure it end-to-end, which is something we're really proud about.
Quick tips to ensure that your viewers get notified.
So the first is use do not publish to your advantage. You get a quota of 3 per day notifications. If you're making 4 or 5 videos, perhaps you can choose the 3 you want, and then you can choose not to syndicate 2 of them. The second is don't upload on the hour. Everyone does that. So you can set yourself apart from other creators by choosing a crazy time of the day. Third is it's very normal for people to start a video private and then flip it public.
Okay.
Don't then flip it private again and then public again, because you'll get notifications the first time and you won't get them the second time.
Yeah, you missed the boat there. The first time it went public, notice went out, and then that's it.
Exactly, yeah.
So that covers the first thing that we wanted to talk about. What is the second?
So the second is, in this kind of long-term project to sort of figure out reliability, we looked at kind of feedback tickets we get from users where they complain about something not working, and often we dig into them as examples of where things we can understand and problems that we need to fix. And a lot of what we found, first of all, we found these kind of outages which we think we fixed now.
Yep.
And then the other thing we find is that notifications are complex. There's lots of settings, right? We know this. And we're always trying to simplify and make that clear, but it's still complex today. And you have phone level settings, and you have app level settings, and of course the bell itself.
Yep.
And in many cases, users who complain are actually the system's worked correctly, but they've got one of these settings misconfigured. And so we're doing a lot of work to try to generally clarify that system and make it clearer for users. We've done a couple of things. The first is we've created a new interactive menu. So instead of it just being a little toggle, there's now a menu, 3 states. Okay. So to reminder on the bell, you have none, where you turn off the bell for a channel altogether, and you get no
notifications.
Exactly. And then the second is occasional, which is where you get a kind of a personalized sample of notifications, and then of course the bell itself, all, right? And so there's those 3 states are now clearly labeled in a new menu, and so it's clearer for users to understand which setting they're getting. And the second thing we discovered is that the icon for the occasional state was a grey bell, and the icon for the bell all was a grey bell with little dashes.
With these 2 little lines on top of it.
And we know they were essentially too similar. People confused them. Yeah. And that was on us again. And so now we've changed the icon for the occasional state, and now it's a kind of a hollow bell, and it implies that you're only going to get partial notifications, which is exactly correct. And then we've also renamed this occasional state. We've called it personalized, because occasional was confusing to lots of people. They weren't sure exactly what they were getting. They sound like tiny changes, but they make a big impact. But it's also worth pointing out we haven't changed anyone's user settings. No settings at a user level have been changed, and no functionality has been changed.
Yeah, I think this is really important. Talk about the process for you to be able to get here and for you to make these changes. Talk about the experiments, all the different icons, all the different words that you use when determining whether it's occasional or personalized.
The word itself, personalized, we tested 4 or 5 variants. We sent surveys to hundreds of people, and we kind of looked for comprehension and it reflecting what you expect from that experience. So people choose it, and it's actually they get what they think they're getting. And again, with the icon, we tested variants with like a half like shading and hollow bell as we went with in the end, and we tested.
How many variants for the new icon specifically? How many variants would you say you tested?
I think there were a bunch of designs, and I think 2 or 3 went into experiment, and then we chose the one that appeared to put most people into the state they wanted, right? And in many cases that means that more people are belling, right?
And when we say you came up with 2 to 3 and then ran experiments, that means you ran experiments on a percentage of viewers out there. So
right.
We are measuring the user comprehension at scale. There's a large percentage of viewers who would have seen all of these different variants, and then we measure what is performing the best for those users.
1% of YouTube users is like tens of millions of people.
Lots of people.
But the net outcome, we think, from all this analysis and experimentation, is that we've ended up with a series of changes, while small, but will help viewers choose exactly the level of notifications they want from your channel.
All right, that covers number 2. Number 3, I'm just going to ask a question. Hey James, how many of my subscribers have actually ticked the bell?
I don't actually know for your channel, although I could look it up.
But really, I'm asking a leading question, which is, what is the third thing that is now available to all of you?
So we've talked a lot about the bell, and we've talked a lot about how your subscribers end up in this state. We want to now share this information with creators. And so it was sort of sneak peeked a couple of weeks ago, but now we want to talk about it in more detail. We want to add 2 new metrics to YTA. The first is how many of your subscribers have chosen all notifications for your channel, and then the second metric is how many of your subscribers have chosen all notifications for your channel, and also what we call reachable.
Yeah, let's dig into reachable a little bit. It might not be clear to everybody. So what does it mean for somebody to be reachable or not reachable by YouTube notification?
We've talked a lot about settings. For our notifications to get through, it's not just about the bell. The user actually has to have had them turned on in their phone or on their web device. So in Android, you can go and turn off notifications, or you can turn them on, and the same in iOS. And if you've turned them off, we don't consider you to be reachable. And there's not much YouTube can do about that, of course, right? But these are goals that actually we want to keep up. We want more people reachable because it benefits us and creators, of course. And so, yeah, we want to share how many of these users are reachable and how many of them have turned on the bell for your channel. And then that should give some kind of expectation about how many views you can expect from notifications. The reason we're kind of announcing all of these changes together, the reliability and then the sort of viewer-facing kind of clarity, and making these things easier to understand, and then also more information for creators, is we're trying to really tackle notifications as a problem.
Yeah.
And we realize there's lots of parts of it, and these 3 announcements are kind of hopefully begin to address the overall problem.
Yeah.
And then indeed there's further parts of that as well. So sort of combined with these launches, we're updating Help Center. There's a new kind of diagnostic tool to help users figure out their settings,
to help viewers understand like which of these states they're in.
Exactly. If they're not receiving notifications, they go through a kind of a flow process that says, I'm not receiving bell notifications and I want them, and why, and then it helps you self-diagnose and
Cool.
often kind of tweak your settings on your phone. And then we're also doing a kind of a viewer version of this video, which again does a similar thing. It's explaining some of the changes we've made, and also that has the settings flow sort of explanation built into the video as well.
Yeah, we'll link to that down below. Thank you so much for breaking all of this down and for telling us all about the exciting things that are happening to notifications in the bell.
We'd also like you to comment, so add comments below. We'll certainly read them.
Yes. Give your feedback to James. Let him know. Comments, questions, concerns, he'll read them, I'll read them. If you dig this video, if you want to see more videos on notifications, hit that like button. And, as always, we are Creator Insider. We are your informal source, talking to the tech and engineering teams, giving you more information about what is happening at YouTube.
Also, there should be a new menu underneath here, so take a look.
Yes. What we were just talking about, the new bell icon, all of that, check what state you're in. If you want to receive all notifications, tick the bell. Is that what we're still calling it? We still want you to tick it?
We'll never call it anything else.
And if you want to receive personalized notifications from us, change it to the hollow state, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.